A true dragon would tell you that you can never have enough treasure in your hoard.
And today we're adding some more treasure to our hoards by taking a look at some third-party accessories that we're really excited to open up.
We're opening up our dungeon mail. Greetings, my name is Monty Martin.
And I'm McLaughlin.
And we are the Dungeon Dudes.
And today we're going to open up our mail and take a look at some third-party accessories that have been sent to us from various sources.
We're always looking for cool accessories to enhance our Dungeons & Dragons games, whether those are miniatures, dice, or other cool measurement tools for tracking initiative, tracking status conditions, or otherwise. And we've built up a little bit of a backlog of new toys to check out, and we thought we would share them with you today, see if they might have a place at your table.
Yeah, we're very excited to open these up, so let's get opening. So the first accessory we're taking a look at today is Elder Dice. I grabbed a set of these from my local game store, and I've also recently gone in on the Kickstarter for the new batch of Elder Dice, which I'm very excited about. If you're a fan of Lovecraft, all of these dice sets are part of the Lovecraftian mythos. They have various symbols and logos, and they come in a nice little box here that you can open up, and kind of just pops open like this. And there we have some awesome colored dice with a little Cthulhu on these ones.
Dice are like the coins of the Dragon Horde. You just can never have enough. If anyone tells you you have too many dice, they're wrong.
I have way too many dice, and I still have to keep buying more, especially if they're Lovecraft themed, because that's my thing.
I think we kind of christen a new campaign by getting like new sets of dice for the characters.
Yeah, I always get a brand new set every time I play a new character, and sometimes I just grab some for ideas I have of characters to play later.
So the next one was sent to us by our friends at RPG Crate, which is a monthly loot box that they were very gracious to send us a single one for us to open up on the show. I have no idea what's going to be in here.
We haven't opened it yet, so you guys are going to encounter this experience with us. I guess, do we get the opening sword?
Yeah, let's get the opening sword. Yeah! So I love, I do like loot boxes. I found a couple that I love. I found a couple that are not to my taste. Okay, so we've opened up the box, and let's see what we got inside.
Oh,
wow.
Already. What are these?
We got some swag.
We got multiple t-shirts.
Arctic owl bears.
The Arctic owl bears.
I actually kind of like these.
That's great. Oh man, maybe I should wear that on.
Oh, I guess they sent us 3 because they're Ross and Clayton. Yeah.
One for Clay.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Some effing cool miniatures. Oh, it is an Arctic owl bear.
Okay, so there's a theme going on here. We got Arctic owlbear shirts. We got an actual mini of an Arctic owlbear.
Recipes. It's a whole little, actually, adventure on a single card with instructions for Arctic owlbear steaks. And it looks like they've got some cool adventures.
Oh, it has stats. Stats there for the Arctic owlbear.
No, there's a whole adventure. Actually, some really fantastic cartography on these. Atmar's cartography. This is configurable dungeon cards.
Huh. So you can build a dungeon?
Yeah, like an icy dungeon.
I notice a theme in this box.
Yeah. Bard's Gate by James N. Spawn by Frog God Games. So another like whole adventure.
Yeah, so you get an entire other little adventure book in here, which is awesome. That's a jam-packed box.
Yeah.
You know?
That actually has some cool stuff in it. I like that it's print stuff actually and themed around that. The miniature is really, really nice. It's an unpainted metal miniature, so it's really, really high quality.
I love that this box has a theme to it. Like everything in here just kind of goes together. So, you know, if you pull out the little adventure, you pull out the little adventure and you say, well, I wish I had an Arctic owlbear mini. Well, you do. And you have an Arctic card set to make your map. You have all the fixins here to run a little adventure.
That's like, this is in one box, not just one-shot adventure. This is like your entire month's worth of gaming.
So if you get one of these every month, you just can keep running RPG Crate.
Yeah, not bad. Thank you at RPG Crate. They sent us this to check it out. I really, really like this. And I will definitely see if I can make the time to run some of these adventures, because that's the true test, is are the adventures any good? And they look pretty cool. One of our longtime friends, Chris at Axe and Shield, has sent us some cool accessories as well for us to use on the new live stream.
I've been very excited for this for a long time. I love Axe and Shield. I love all the stuff that he makes. Why don't we
see what's in the box? Yeah. He actually sent us 2 boxes, so this is the first one.
I know that I'm not supposed to cut towards myself, but whatever. All right.
Safety is not guaranteed. So Chris at Axe and Shield has sent us, these are the first things that he sent us, his single flyer stands.
And the 3D Combat Riser set.
Cool. Do you want to start out with the 3D Combat Riser?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I think what we're going to do is, now that we've finally cracked all these open, all the parts of these, we're going to put them together and show you what they look like once they're all complete. Okay, so that took a little while.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. This is the flight stand.
Yeah, this is actually incredible, because one of the main things that happens at our table is we use the dice boxes to show that our characters are flying, but then we need to put little things next to them to indicate how high they're actually flying, because things are at all these different levels.
Yeah.
And this is going to help straighten that out a whole lot, so that's awesome.
Yeah, this is actually a really amazing riser system. So what Axe and Shield has sent us are the main 3D Combat Deluxe Riser, which is this multi-part set. Actually, you could probably run it as 2 separate risers.
Yeah.
If you needed to. But this lets you do, because these are incremented and you get the extra little lengths of stand that are adjustable, and then you can actually hook together to make even higher elevations. You can actually really accurately represent how high creatures are flying in the air or elevated. These are also the much simpler ones, the single flyer flight stands, for, say, elevating a single creature on a flight stand. Really, really nice, high quality stuff, like really durable.
Man, the uses of this are incredible. Like, this is, I feel like they found something that needed to be fixed in minis and terrain combat, and they fixed it.
Yeah, especially with how much, like, we've been using 3D terrain with Dwarven Forge stuff. Having this kind of elevation, and actually it's really quite striking, and it looks nice.
Yeah.
Right? It really lets you communicate the height. Because I find a lot of times at the table when you play, especially with flight and elevation, it's very easy to get into that, like, isometric video game mode where you don't totally grasp, like, just how high a flying creature might actually be elevated over the battlefield. And this makes it pretty clear.
Yeah, like, having a dragon up on the top of this thing coming in is much more intimidating than when we, like, tried to station it wedged between 2 buildings, and, like, we're like, yeah, it's flying in. This is so much cooler.
Yeah, I love this. Thank you so much, Chris, for sending this to us. That's at Axe and Shield. I think he's had his stuff on Critical Role as well. It's really cool, and I think for anyone using miniatures, particularly for high-level play where flying is basically in every single combat encounter.
Yeah, so this is going to come in really handy, especially when you reach those higher levels. Thank you, Axe and Shield, so much. And we have more from him to open.
Yeah, we do. Let's send this out of the way and open up the next one from Axe and Shield. Our next fun thing from Chris at Axe and Shield is his initiative tracker. And I actually think that we said that writing on paper in our tips for running combat video was the fastest and most effective way of tracking initiative. And that's when Chris said he disagreed with us and thought that he had a better system. So let's put it to the test.
That's how this whole thing started, was Chris said, no, you guys are wrong. You should use my initiative tracker. And now we have the initiative tracker. Let's check it out.
Ooh, he included markers. Oh my god. The base of it is branded Dungeon Dudes.
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. That, like, warms my heart. I've never I've never had our logo branded on something that we didn't make ourselves. That's high quality.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Oh, man.
And then the pole attaches to it like so, I think. And then we have the flags. And then the flags kind of go on the stick, just like so. The way and we actually have custom printed ones with our characters for the live stream.
Yeah, our live stream characters have their own little sticks here.
And then I guess you're supposed to just flip them over as you go down the order, right? To mark off whose turn it is. And then once you get to the end of the initiative order, you just turn the whole thing around again.
Or just keep going back and forth.
Yeah, or back and forth. Actually, that's the smarter way of doing it.
Yeah, I'm excited to use this. It's also just like, I think, very visually appealing for the whole table to be able to see where the initiative's at.
Yeah, because that is the one thing with the paper method is that nobody knows what the turn order is. And I'm constantly like saying to people like, Kelly, you're on deck next.
Do you think there's any issue with if you wanted to keep a monster secret when using this?
Yeah, because I think that there's a little bit of an issue with like rearranging it partway through and like figuring out who is where. But I think if I was going to keep a monster secret, maybe I would just leave all the blank ones on and fill the whole
and
sack.
Then when they show up, just write it in.
Yeah.
And now it's there.
Yeah. I love that he included the markers, the wet erase markers, because that's like one of those things of like throwing in the batteries.
Yeah. It's like when you buy something and its battery's not included, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's annoying. This is just, if you don't have dry erase markers, hey, it came with them. So once again, thank you so much, Axe and Shield. This is beautiful. I love seeing our logo on something.
Yeah, that's really fun.
I've never, that's a new experience for me, so thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Chris, at Axe and Shield. This is an awesome addition to our table. Speaking of our live stream, we actually ordered some custom miniatures from Heroforge for our live stream game. I haven't opened these up yet to paint them, but let's see how they turned out.
Yeah, I've been on Heroforge for years. I've never actually ordered from Heroforge because I don't know. I've always been worried that my character is going to die really fast.
It's a valid concern, actually.
But I go on there all the time to create characters and kind of see what they might look like if I were to order them. And I'm very, very excited that we finally ordered our own Heroforge Minis. So we finally get to test and see what it's like.
Cool. Share your mini. Join our custom designs. So we got 3. One for each of our new characters on the live stream show. I think you should open that one.
Is this me? This is me.
So these are the premium plastic minis from Heroforge. I think they're about $29.99 for these ones, and they're custom designed. So we put these in the Heroforge editor and customized what we wanted for the characters and ordered them in premium plastic. And here they are. They're unpainted right now. So if we get the time, maybe I'll paint them up and we can do the final version of them. But yeah, they're fantastically detailed.
Yeah, the quality here is really excellent. Like I'm looking at it and I didn't know if it would translate properly. I didn't know if all of the detail that you saw on the website would translate to the physical mini, but it looks superb. I don't know. I'm very excited to see this guy painted. I might just be too thrilled because this is my character and I'm very excited. But let's see the other two.
So that's Jill's Tabaxi Veo.
Veo the Tabaxi. I think we were a little worried about the tail and the crossbow and all that, but it looks...
Your mini has a pretty stable pose, so I wasn't too worried about that one, but like, especially sometimes with plastic miniatures, like you can see with Joe's mini, the sword, like sometimes they get droopy swords in plastic miniatures, but this is really stable. Like it doesn't look like it's going to snap easily.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the premium plastic here. The tail is really, really stable piece. The loose arms on the sides, like oftentimes with plastic miniatures, these are the parts where they break. And just seeing that it's really stable, it's one piece as well, which is awesome because with a miniature like this, if you bought it in metal or you got it from a another manufacturer, oftentimes you'd have to glue parts onto these. Like the tail would probably be a part that you glue on.
Yeah.
And that would mean that they would fall off.
With like Warhammer
Yeah.
and stuff like that was always the bane
Yeah.
of my existence, was picking up a model the wrong way and it like the sword arm falls off or something like that. So
Yeah.
having it be one piece is really excellent. I'm really impressed with those, and that makes me feel more likely to get more Heroforge for future campaigns.
For a premium custom miniature, this is the Rolls Royce. Like $30 for a single 32 millimeter miniature is the most expensive they get. But for getting that custom mini, the one that is uniquely yours, I think that that's well worth the price. Absolutely, like including the amount of time that goes into painting them, a very premium choice, but awesome in terms of customizability. Last up, the cool folks at Cobalt Press just shipped their new Kickstarter, the Creature Codex for 5th edition. I like to give a shout out to the Creature Codex and the Tome of Beasts, because they've been really, really excellent monster manuals for people who want just a ton of new, really well-designed monsters for 5th edition D&D. There are 400 new monsters in this book, which is quadruple the amount that you find in Volo's Guide to Monsters and Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. On the flip side, the lore is not as in-depth compared to Volo's Guide to Monsters and Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. It's very much like the monster manual in that most creatures get about a page of description, but full color artwork in every page of the book.
That's awesome.
With great, really well-balanced stats. I think the only thing that I would criticize with it is that a lot of the monsters are humanoid foes in some way. So they're kind of like animated dead, monstrous humanoids, which if your campaign needs a lot more of those, there's lots of great examples. There's also some really powerful creatures in here as well. All the way up through the challenge ratings. So some pretty interesting things, although I would say that with 400 monsters, my first look through it, it seemed like there were a couple things that were a little bit repetitive or kind of similar, but other entries in here that were really, really exciting, and I can't wait to use them in the game, like Hounds of Tyndalos, and kind of like cool new golems, dragons, and demon lords.
I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, you can't have too many monsters. I'm always, as a DM, I'm always tweaking monsters or like describing them differently to fill a need within my campaign. Mm-hmm. And just to have this sort of Bible of monsters at your fingertips to go through and just find something that suits what it is you need in that moment is really, really awesome.
People are often very hesitant about picking up a monster manual of third-party monsters, but for what it's worth, monsters are one of the safest things to pick up from other places outside of the official Wizards of the Coast ones, because they tend to be a little bit better than what you might homebrew yourself because they've gone through a little bit more playtesting. But giving something that's new and unique, and especially if you are used to homebrewing your own creatures and want more ideas to bounce off of, a book like this is really quite indispensable. There's like a ghost dragon, there's new fae, Dracotars, clockwork. Oh, there's a clockwork dragon. I have a clockwork dragon miniature. With 400 monsters, it's going to be a little while before I have figured out everything in here, but it looks really good in the first pass.
So this has been our roundup of all of the third-party accessories that we've received recently. We want to say a special thank you to RPG Crate and Chris from Axe and Shield, because they sent us these items for us to check out. The other ones we purchased on our own, but I would definitely spend money on all of these items.
Absolutely. I think that if you're looking for some new accessories to enhance your game, whether you want to get a couple new dice, a couple new monsters, a new adventure, or just accessories for your game in general, all of these are really cool options. And I just hope they show you a smorgasbord of all the stuff that's out there that isn't necessarily on the official channels, because the third-party innovation that happens of like, oh, I need this for my game, is amazing. And what Chris and Axe and Shield has made, the cool stuff from third parties, whether it's adventures or monsters, is really worth checking out. And I give them recommendation. Absolutely. Thank you so much to Chris at Axe and Shield and RPG Crate for sending us their products, but especially with everyone else that we looked at today, like Cobalt Press's Creature Codex, the Elder Dice, and Heroforge. We've been had our eye on some of these for quite a while, and they did not disappoint us. They were well worth our money, and I think I'm going to be sending in an order to Chris for some more flight stands, because those are really, really awesome, and I actually look forward to seeing more from RPG Crate too. So I would recommend any of these. I'm happy to spend my money on any of them, and I hope that they give you a good idea of the cool third-party stuff that's out there for your game, because oftentimes looking outside the official channels shows you some really cool innovation that's happening for role-playing games in D&D.
If there's any other third-party accessories that you would really like to see us check out, let us know, and we'll see if we can get them and do another episode like this where we take a look at it and give you our thoughts.
As we said in the beginning, we have a ravenous appetite for cool stuff for our games. We love giving shout-outs to community creators who are making really, really interesting stuff. So please let us know if there's anything that should be on our radar.
So the stuff we looked at today was pretty specialized, but if you want to go back to the basics, we have a video on essential accessories for D&D right up over here.
And if you want to check out our review of the Wizards of the Coast dungeon tiles for D&D, check that out right over here.
Please subscribe to our channel so that you never miss an episode.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time
in the dungeon.